So sorry about that. My computer totally restarted. So I'll just get you guys sorted and share my screen. All right. Yeah, so as I was saying, there's so many different ways for us to jump into this opportunity, and there's so much potential to create that time and financial freedom. So I just wanted to share my story with you. Obviously, it's the one that I know the best, but there's so many amazing doTERRA stories of where people have come from and how they've got to this point. So about 3 years ago, I was a part owner in 3 really busy wellness clinics, but I was super stressed out. It was something that I'd been working towards for 10 years. It was what I'd always strive to achieve. I thought it was my dream goal, something that I would love, still working in the health and wellness industry, owning my own business, having the opportunity to run that. But the reality was, when I stepped into that role, I actually really didn't like it. It did not feel aligned. I felt super stressed. I was in a position where I was on maternity leave, yet running a business, you didn't really get the opportunity to have full-on maternity leave. I wasn't going to take a year off. And so I thought that my roles would be really quite refined in what I was doing, really stripped back. But the reality was, I had so much going on, projects I was managing, problems I was dealing with, 30 or 40 members of staff, just so much going on, that I found that when I was at home with my small children, I was constantly pushing them away. Then they would go to bed at night and I'd have so much work to do that I'd never spend time with my husband. And it really just felt horrible to me. I never slept due to the stress. I could never switch my brain off at night because I'd be sitting there worrying about all the things I still had to get done, how I was going to fit things in the next day, working around my kids and my family. But there was so much work to do. And I also felt like, because I'd committed to people, I was only a shareholder in business. There was a number of us, that I had made this commitment. And I'm one of these people who, when you make a commitment, I really want to stick to my word and be loyal. And that was really hard for me too. That was a situation that I was in. But I came to realize really quickly that if you don't make decisions to change your life for the better, no one can do it for you. And that's something that really sits true to my core, because I realized no one was going to turn around to me and say, hey, you're stressed, you've got too much going on, how about I take some of the work off you? Unfortunately, that's just not the way life works, or not really in most businesses, I guess, that I really had to make that decision to change my life. And I did it because I was so super stressed that I actually didn't know what the consequences were of me staying in the situation that I was in. For my health, for my marriage, for, my relationship with everyone around me. It's really hard to function when you're under that much stress. So I actually made the decision to sell my shares in the business, which was difficult at the time, but I knew that it was going to be the right thing for me and for my family to get us back on track. And I made the decision to reprioritize my family. I wanted to get back to being a mum, to spending my time with my kids, to really get my health in check. And so I did all of that when I was pregnant with my 3rd baby. And then I had my little baby girl, Millie. So that was in the May. And when Millie was just 3 weeks old, I was presented with the opportunity to start doTERRA as a business. So I, like many of you guys, I had fears around starting a business. I just stepped away from one business because it was too stressful. It was too hard. I'd said that I was going to reprioritize my family. So who was I to say yes to taking on another business, being the owner of another business where I was solely responsible for all the work that was going to go down in that. But inevitably, I had seen the success of one of my friends. She'd been doing doTERRA as a business for over a year. I had actually purchased doTERRA, so I had purchased the Home Essentials kit, which most of you will be somewhat familiar with, when she first started. So I had one of her very first workshops. She came, I was so interested. These essential oils really fitted in with my philosophy around health and our lifestyle and the way we started to live. And so I'd always kept an eye on what she was doing. So my friend Kim, she was actually traveling at the time with her family, and I rang her and said, oh, look, maybe there's more to this. I've got a lot more free time now. I'd love to explore this opportunity with you. But, you know, I felt really excited. I felt excited that I'd have something that was for me, something that I could be good at. But one thing that's really important to know, I had some oils. I had the Home Essentials kit. But to be honest, we didn't use them every day. And I would say that we're really quite a healthy family, and a lot of them that we needed to support our health and well-being. I didn't feel that we needed to grab them all. Like, we really never had gastro. We rarely had a cold. And so it wasn't honestly something that sat on my bench and got used daily. But I always still liked them, and I dabbled in them. Like, we'd put lavender in the kids' bath, and sometimes I'd Google to see what I might be able to use the essential oils for. But I certainly would not say that I knew heaps about them. I was curious, I was interested, and it's one of the things that I think I will talk about a little bit later, is you don't have to be an expert to say yes to this business. It was something, I think you need to be open and you need to be excited and willing to try, and really start to understand it so that you can teach other people. But that's part of what we are here to provide for you. You don't have to be an expert by any means. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, but I don't know anything about essential oils, I wouldn't know how to start sharing them, that's totally fine. That's part of our support. And one of the things that, like I've sort of mentioned earlier, but I don't know if that recorded, is it gave me permission to dream. It really got me to think about what I wanted my life to look like. I knew what I didn't want it to look like because I'd been in that situation where it was unhealthy to be under so much stress. But I really started to think about what I wanted out of life. I'd always wanted to be a mum. How was I going to spend my time with my kids? Did I want something for myself? Did I want to work? And I was fortunate enough to be in that situation where that was a decision that I could make. I didn't have to go to work, but it was something that I really wanted for myself. And I started to think in opportunities, which is something that's really big, that's sort of stuck with me with doTERRA, is thinking about the positives and thinking about what exists and how we can create something into our lives, as opposed to thinking about that's too hard, or, I don't want this anymore. We want to really start thinking about how we can have really happy lives and have the lifestyle that we actually truly want. So when I started this, like I was saying earlier, I was actually a stay-at-home mum. So I had a 4-year-old boy, a 2-year-old boy, and a 3-week-old baby girl. A lot of people would look at that situation and use that as an excuse to say, oh, wow, why would you start a business in that situation? But it was seriously the best thing that I've done, in that one of the things that I love most about this business is connecting with people. And many of you may be stay-at-home mums or be parents. And, I had a year off with my first baby, And I felt really disconnected from society. You know, you've got these little people in your life that you really want to nurture and do the very best you can, but it's almost easy to get obsessed with their well-being and what they're doing and how they're developing and what you can do to influence that, that you start to feel a bit disconnected. And one of the things that I loved most about this business was being able to go out and connect with people. So I would do that in workshops when I would teach people about essential oils. For me, certainly when I started, I'd do about 1 to 2 workshops a week. And that was completely doable with 3 really small children. I would always organise them either on, for me, it worked best to do an evening or a weekend, so my husband could be at home to put the kids to bed. So I'd always do it about 7:30 so that they were either already asleep by the time I left. And as Millie, my baby, got older, it became more difficult for my husband to do that, to put the 3 of them to bed. So I used to take her with me. I was breastfeeding if she wasn't settled, if she wasn't asleep, if she was going through, you know, a transition phase where she needed me. She came along to my workshops and it absolutely was not an issue. You know, I would feed her. I would try and put her to sleep. I'd be standing up rocking her while I was presenting. And I'll tell you, it never had a negative effect on my business at all. And that's one of the things that's really incredible, is that this business is so flexible. You can do it the way you want to do it. But beyond connecting with the people in the workshops that I was teaching, the connection with our team, so the people who I worked alongside, they became almost like a mum's group for me. You know, they were people who understood what it was like to raise little people but still want to have a business as well. And sometimes that juggle between business and motherhood can be difficult, but I had someone to do it. Yeah, see, Megan's just commented you were doing that in our class when I signed up with you. And did it very well, I might add. Thank you, Megan. But it's exactly right. Most people are in similar situations, and people like to see that you can do both, that you can be a mum and run a business, or that they have the opportunity to do that. It's just about being relaxed and doing it your way, which is one of the things that I really want to talk about. So the connection with people, the connection within our team was amazing, and the people within our team, so they're people that I've signed up, but it's also people who are around me, so that my upline, my friend, who she had signed up. So there's a lot of people there that I never knew, but they've become good friends of mine, and they've become a support network, which has been really amazing. One of the things that I love most about this business are the friendships. But the way my journey went is that after 10 months in my business, we were able to create a lifestyle that we'd always dreamed of. So my husband resigned from his stressful job, which I could see was creating stress in his life, something that I really wanted him to be able to transition to. But we ticked off the number 1 goal on our bucket list, which was to travel around Australia in a caravan. So it was just, how long ago? In April last year, we moved into our caravan. We said goodbye to the lifestyle that we knew, and we travelled with our 3 little children around Australia. So here's just some of the snapshots. We made so many incredible memories. We spent 10 months on the road, travelled all around the coast of Australia. I continued to do my business as I travelled, and my business continued to grow, which is one of the incredible things about this business, is you have the opportunity to work from anywhere and create a business the way you want to create it. Obviously, you would need it to be at a particular level to be able to do that, but it is absolutely possible to grow it from anywhere in whatever way you want to. So it was probably one of my biggest blessings in life And my biggest blessings from doTERRA was to have the opportunity to do that, to live the life that I wanted, to connect with my family, to be with my children while they were so young. So one of the things that's really great for you to start thinking about is, what are your dreams? What do you want your life to look like? It might not be to travel. That might be something you want to be able to do. It might be for you to resign the job that you don't like, or to go to part-time so you don't have to be there as much. It might be to create that for your husband or your partner or your mum and dad. It might be so that you don't have to go to work and you can stay at home with your kids. Whatever your dreams are, it's really good to start thinking about, because you have the opportunity to create your life. It's up to you to work out how to do that. So I just want to jump into some of the questions, queries, statements that generally come up. I'll put a little disclaimer in here. One of the things that was suggested, and I'm going to touch on, was how we get paid, so the compensation plan, and the structure of our team, so how to place people once you sign them up. I am going to leave the details to that for perhaps another call, and the reason for doing that is I could spend easily an hour or an hour and a half talking about that to really get people to understand it. It's something that I think you need to hear quite a lot, the finer details, to really get it cemented in your brain. But that's what we do when you're ready to say yes. It's certainly something that I can spend time with you one-on-one. We can do it in a follow-up call from this one. But I want you first to get the basic concepts understood before we go into that really deep nitty-gritty, because I'll bore you and I'll overload your brains, I think, if I give you every little detail. So like I said earlier, one of the things that's really quite common, one of the common statements is, I don't know anything about essential oils. And like I said, I didn't know much at all either. I had my oils and we did use them. To be honest, I reckon for at least 10 years beforehand, essential oils had been something that I was really curious about. I'd been into shops and asked questions. When I was having my babies, I went into particular shops that sold essential oils and said I wanted an oil for my labour, but never really got much of an explanation about what it was or how it works or why you would use it. And I remember carrying it in my bag, but certainly for my first 2 babies, that oil sat in my bag, never really came out because I wasn't really sure what to do with it. So one of the things that I'm really big on when I'm teaching people is how to use them and why we use them. But it's also what we are here to support you. So we can teach you how to use them so you can teach other people. So don't feel like you have to be an expert to get started. I know certainly my friend who signed me up, she purchased her oils, and the day, I think it was 3 days after they arrived at her house, she ran her first class in teaching other people. So she set up PowerPoints and just talked about what she knew about them. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You can use your books, you can use your resources, and we do have amazing resources. So when it comes to using oils and learning more about them, there are online classes you can listen to, you can come to classes. We can help you run your classes. That's one of the things that I love doing for people who are just starting in this business, is to go and allow you to listen. Because when you listen, knowing that you want to do this and you want to stand up in front of other people, you're going to hear with different ears. You're not just trying to learn what you can do with the oils. You'll be thinking about, you'll be recognizing how we say things, what we say. We'll teach you why we say them in particular ways. And so often when people are launching, I'll go and do their first class with them. We'll still let them take all the enrollments, they earn the commissions, but you get to hear it. And for some people, I can do 2, 3, 4, 5 workshops with someone before they feel comfortable to get up and present. What I generally try and do is I'll run the first one, and then the next time they have a go, but we might do it together. They might have that opportunity to talk, but they might feel stuck at a particular point where they can go, hey, you can jump in now. And then, often the third one, they'll do it themselves, but I'm there for backup. That's how I like to do it. For some people, they feel more comfortable jumping in and doing it themselves, which is amazing. I know that I was a bit like that. I ran my first one by myself because I actually felt more scared to have someone that was what I would see as an expert standing there behind me. But it's absolutely up to you. But what I want you to know is that you're not expected to jump in and launch on your own. That's what we're there to help you. We have an incredible online mentor program. So that mentor program is designed to go over about 4 weeks, where we drip feed you information about this business. So what you need to set up, how you set it up, how you learn the next step. And so that goes on, and it is online. So you can log into that from wherever you are, and you don't have to feel like distance is an issue if you don't live close to us. And we can certainly do things that way. I've also run online classes for people where they've got a group of people together. I've jumped on a Zoom call like this. I can still present the information. They pass around the oils, and I'm still there. They can ask questions. We can have that feedback. So there's so many different ways that we can help get you started, but the support is there, and that's something that's really important to know. Once you start using the oils, you will find your own stories as well. You know, and in the meantime, so when we talk about finding your own stories, we all have success with these oils. That's why they're so popular. That's because they work. They do what they say they're going to do. So once you start using oils in a particular way for whatever comes up, whether it's lavender because you have trouble sleeping, whatever it is, you'll start to go, wow, that really worked for me. And then you start telling people about it. All right, so just sort of jumping into the next one, what are my minimum financial requirements? So there is a very small financial requirement for you. So the first thing is, if you haven't already got an account with doTERRA, the first thing is to get started is to choose an enrollment kit. So enrollment kits help allow you to set up your own wholesale account. That's how you get your oils. You're getting them at 25% off the retail price. And you're going to get the best price basically for your oils. So there are different enrollment kits to suit all budgets. There's an oil sharing kit, which is also known as the entrepreneur's kit. So that has, 3 of the most popular oils, 2 of the next most popular, 1 of some of the other kits, some of the other oils. And so it gives you a really great start if you're going to do this business to be able to start sharing, providing samples. You've got most of the oils to then be able to share and show people. The Nature Solutions kit is an incredible kit. It wasn't available when I first started, but that's the one I think I would have got if I first started. It has the top 10 oils in it, which is what we base most of our intro classes on. So that's really important. But then it has other oils like your headache blend, the women's monthly blend. It comes in a beautiful wooden box. We've got things like lemongrass and aroma touch, which is a massage blend. There's so many different oils in there and some of the other products to really start getting you familiar with doTERRA's products. And then there's the Home Essentials kit. And the Home Essentials kit is doTERRA's top 10 oils plus a diffuser. And that's what I recommend as the minimum if you're wanting to do this business, because that's what we base all our classes on. So it's really quite important if you want to show people and demonstrate to have at least those top 10 oils in a diffuser. But once you've got started, your only ongoing financial requirement to earn an income or earn commissions with doTERRA is to place a 100 PV monthly order. So I am going to break this down a little bit, but basically what it is you need to buy $150 worth of doTERRA products, around 150, of products that you can use in your house. They are essential oils that you can use to create stories, that you can use them on your family, on your husband, on your mum, whoever's around you. You can use these oils to share them with people, to show people You can use the products for your laundry, for your bathroom, to get rid of all those chemicals in your home. So for $150 a month, it's such a small requirement financially. It's a really small financial outlay compared to, you know, I was a shareholder in a bricks and mortars business where I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a share in that business. And that's the difference between, you know, going and buying a bricks and mortars business or starting one with doTERRA. Your financial outlay is really quite minimum. And one of the great things about that's your minimum requirement, but we can get you earning money straight away. So you can have your order paid for in commissions from the day you start. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be out of pocket. In fact, I don't think I ever was out of pocket, you know, which is really quite amazing to have a business that is like that. So I just want to break down some of the language that we use, because I know that this is something that was really big for me when I first started. PV was written everywhere I looked, and I reckon I spent 3 hours trying to work out what it meant and what it was. So PV is a term that we use quite a lot in doTERRA, and what that is it's a product value. So every product, every kit, anything you purchase from doTERRA, it has a price and it also has a PV value. And the reason we have that product value is because we are a global company. So something that's 20 Australian dollars isn't necessarily going to be 20 US dollars, and in Europe it's not 20 euros. And because of that difference in prices and the value of the dollar, we use PV, product value, to really standardize it no matter what country you're in. And most of our promotions within doTERRA based on PV rather than price value. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about PV. So like I said, we need a minimum of 100 PV in our monthly orders. So when you add up the products that you purchase, they've all got a PV, add them together, and as long as it's over 100, you're right to earn commissions. OV is generally, when we're talking in this business, about overall volume. So that generally includes your order and all of your customers' orders. When you add all those PV values together, that gives you the overall volume of your team. So if this is not making sense, hopefully it will down the track, and hopefully it will as you start to hear it a little bit more. And then LRP. So LRP is doTERRA's loyalty rewards program. This is their premium monthly ordering program. So in their loyalty rewards program, it is available for people who are doing the business or for customers, whether you're signed up as a customer or whether you're a wellness advocate. We all have the option of going on this monthly ordering program, which is so incredibly generous, and it is the best, most cost-effective way for you to purchase your oils. And basically what it means is for each of your purchases each month, you get a percentage back in points, and you can use those product points to get products for free. So for the first 3 months, you'll get 10% back. So if you're placing your 100 PV order, in your first 3 months, you'll get 10 product points for each of those orders. And as they accumulate, you can then log on, use those 10, 20, 30 product points, whatever you've got, to then get products for free. So you can then start getting more back for free. So every 3 months, that goes up by 5%, to the point where when you've been on it for over a year, like what I have, I'm getting 30% back. So not only am I getting paid commissions for my 100 PV order, I'm also getting, I generally do more than 100 PV, but if I just did a 100 PV order for the month, I'd get 30 product points back. So I'm saving a heap more. I'm already saving 25% off the retail price. So it's really incredibly generous, just that points that get generated. On top of that, doTERRA have a free product of the month if you place an order over 125 PV before the 15th of the month. So for most people who are doing the business, we place our orders. I always do it over 125 because I want that free product of the month, which is generally worth between $20 and $30. So you're going to get the free product of the month. You're getting points, which you can use those points to get products for free. We actually get 100% of our shipping back in points as well, so you can use the points from that to get more products for free. And so there's so many incredible benefits, whether you're a customer or you're wanting to do this business, for being on the loyalty rewards program. But it definitely means that you don't go backwards when you're doing this business. You're building up your collection that you can use for personal use as well as your business use. So it's really amazing that that's all we are required. And like I said, it's not difficult to get enough commissions to pay for your monthly orders from the start. All right, so another big question that I get asked is, how many hours do I need to spend on my business? And I certainly remember asking this as well. I remember saying, look, I realise that what you put into it is what you get out of it, but I'm just trying to get my head roughly around, how, if I reach the rank of elite, which I had no idea what that meant, what does that mean? How much money am I earning? How many hours do I need to actually get to this point as well? So it does work a little bit like that. It does work on, depending on what your goals are and what you put into it. Obviously, you're going to get more out of it. If you're not going and doing classes, you're obviously less likely to reach your goals and things like that. And we do work on a ranking system within doTERRA. So you've probably heard people talk about the ranks of elite or silver or gold or presidential diamond. There's lots of different ranks. And so in order to achieve a particular rank, you need to sell a certain amount of product, basically. So I'm just going to move my little picture out of the way. So this, I do apologise, it's a little bit blurry, but this, I think, gives you a really good indication of perhaps what's required, like what you can get back financially, a bit of an idea. I'll tell you about how long it takes to reach particular ranks, how many hours you might need to spend to get to a particular place. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go into the real fine detail about the compensation plan or these particular ranks, but I do want to show you a little bit to help get you familiar with it. And so the rank of elite, if we start down at the E at the bottom, that on average they make about $300 a month. So that's a really great rank to be aiming towards, to at least have your money paid, your orders paid for, and maybe a little bit of extra spending. So when we are elite, that's when you've got 3,000 in overall volume. So once again, talking about that PV value of you plus anyone that you've signed up or anyone that has been placed in your team. I know this sounds still a little bit complicated, but what can happen is, for example, I've signed Kristen up. If I sign someone else up, I might choose to put them under Kristen. So it still becomes part of Kristen's team, even though I signed them up. So that particular person that I'd signed up, that I'd placed under Kristen, for example, still becomes part of Kristen's overall volume, and that might help her get to elite. So I hope that makes some sense. But elite is 3,000 in overall volume. And everyone goes back to zero at the start of every month, but it does get easier to reach these ranks quicker every month as people become more involved with doTERRA. So getting to elite is a really great goal. This is something that you can see right down the bottom. It has the average months. I don't know where my little cursor's gone. It has the average amount of months it takes to achieve that rank. So the average to reach elite is 3 months, but it is absolutely possible to reach that in a month. For some people, it might take longer. It just depends on how you want to build your business, what your contacts are, how influential you are. There's so many different things, how much you're purchasing, how much you're sharing, all of that sort of thing. The next rank is Premier. So we're getting a little bit more happening in underneath you, and they make about $600 a month, and the average is 6 months. Now, I can tell you that I reached Premier in my first month of building my doTERRA business, but for some people it takes 6 months. For some people it takes longer, or they stay there for longer. It just absolutely depends on what you do and what you want to put into it. So the silver is our next rank, and silver is what we call the first of our leadership ranks. So when we get silver, generally you've helped 3 people reach elite, so that 3,000 in volume. So we're looking at just over 9,000 in overall volume, generally speaking, at silver. And usually by this stage, you've got people who are interested in the business, so you're teaching them to reach elite and helping them reach their goals of elite. And that's how you get to silver. And the average in that is 2,200 a month. So the average time to get to silver is 18 months. Me personally, I reached silver in my 2nd month. It's just the way I was able to build it. So there's so many different extremes. And you can see with these coloured bits through here, this is how you get paid. So when we start going into the compensation plan, there's 5 different ways that we get paid, and we get paid all of those ways. And this is what that tries to break down, like where you get paid from. But I will leave that for another day. So as we continue to progress up, gold is one of those levels that for a lot of people is the changing rank, I guess, for them. A lot of people, once they reach gold, where they're earning an average of $4,900 a month, it's often when they can either decrease their work, they might be able to quit their jobs, they might be able to change things around. So for a lot of people, trying to get to gold as quickly as they can really creates that stability, and I certainly saw that when I reached there. So I reached gold in the month that I started traveling around Australia, and having that sort of income was able to sustain us while we were traveling. And so, like it says, the average is 27 months to get there. I think I did it in 10 months. So you can do it in whatever way that you like. Platinum's the level that I'm at now. So the average is $9,500 a month. And this is when you've actually helped 3 people reach the rank of silver, so that first leadership rank. And then you're starting to really make a difference in your leaders' lives, because they're starting to get quite a good income too. As we go up, diamond is when you have 4 silver leaders, and you can see that the average price per month starts to go up quite significantly. The next rank is blue diamond. So you've helped 5 people reach the rank of gold, that real life-changing rank. And you're earning $38,500 a month on average. And presidential diamond. So presidential diamond is where my friend who signed me up, she's a presidential diamond. I'm one of her platinum leaders. So she has 6 platinum leaders, and they earn on average $112,000 or over $112,000 a month. I just want to point out that this is not guaranteed income. This is the average. So what they do is they basically put together everyone that's been at that rank. So for some of them, for example, for diamond, if we're talking about diamond's average income is $17,000 a month, that some of those people may be earning quite a lot less than that the first month that they've reached it. Some of those people might have been diamond for 2 or 3 years, and so they're on the higher end of that spectrum. So they put all of that information together, work out the average that they're earning per month, they work out the average time it takes to get to that rank. but it's not set in concrete. It doesn't mean you reach that rank and that's the income that you get. I just like to let people know that. It does vary depending on your structure, your situation, how fast you've grown, you know, how many people you sign up, all of those sorts of things. It does have a bit of an impact on that. But I hope from looking at that, you can see that it is possible to create this incredible business. So you can have a multi-million-dollar business at the end if you reach Presidential Diamond. So my upline, Kim, my good friend, she reached that in 3 years. But, you know, it says the average is 71 months. I can't do my maths right now. That's quite a few years. Even if someone said to me in 10 years' time, sticking with this business, you could reach Presidential Diamond and that's the sort of income you could have, I'm quite prepared to do that. I know that, you know, if you're an employee and someone said, you know, you can earn $100,000, you sort of know that it might go up a little bit, but it's going to be incremental. But for someone to say, look, I'm going to give you a job at the start, you might not get paid a heap, you know, but you're doing the work. But then I think they say, you know, for a short amount of time, you get underpaid. For a short amount of time, you get decently paid. But for the rest of your life, you can get way overpaid. I think that's something that is really worth jumping in and giving it a go and having that opportunity to get there. And so when you look at those different ranks, so you might have already looked at that and thought, wow, I would really love to be platinum. You know, I earn $100,000 a year. If I could earn that from building my doTERRA business, once I get to that rank of platinum where I might be getting closer to that, then that's going to change my life because that's when I can quit my job. And that's how a lot of people start to set up their businesses and their goals, because they know where they want to get to. And this is where I love this. This comes out of the build guide that doTERRA have. And it gives you a bit of an idea to set some goals. So if you want to get into this business because you love the doTERRA products, and what you would love is to have your products paid for every month, this gives you a bit of an idea. So your investment here in time is between 3 and 5 hours a week. So if you want to reach the rank of elite, so that 3,000 in volume, where you're earning on average $300 a month, if you want to reach that in the next few months, you might want to put in 3 to 5 hours a week, learning the mentor program, starting to talk to people, sharing the products. And you could, if you're doing those sort of hours, you could reach Premier in about 6 months. Like I said, everyone's a little bit varied, but it gives you a bit of an idea as you go. If you want to take it that step further and you want to supplement your income, so you might not necessarily be ready to quit your job or to overtake it, but you really want to add a decent income to your family, you might want to invest more time. So if you invested 10 to 15 hours a week to really fast track your knowledge, fast track your training, get out there, get sharing, do more classes, you know, speak to more people, you would hopefully be able to reach elite in the first month or two, silver within 6 months, and gold within 1 to 2 years. So that would be a really nice way to transition and build your business at the same time as working full-time, working part-time, being a stay-at-home mum, whatever it is. But you might have that little bit more time. So it says, you know, if you're doing that, you might be enrolling at least 4 customers a month, and hopefully finding or inspiring one new builder. So a builder is someone that is going to do the business with you. And that really helps to fast track you through the ranks. If you can find people who want to partner with you, that see the vision that you see, that are inspired the same way you are, that love the oils, or that it might be your best friend, it might be your mum, it might be your sister that you go to and say, hey, I've got this opportunity. I'm really excited about starting this business. I'd love for you to work alongside me. Why don't we do this together? Why don't we start building this business at the same time? And that way you can support each other, and their growth will help your growth and your growth will help their growth. So it really works in a beautiful way like that. So that's something else that you can look at. And the last thing when we're looking at time investment is if you want to replace your income, if you know, probably similar to me, where I went, wow, I want to do this, but I really want to do this. You know, I want to be presidential diamond one day. It's not, you know, gold was amazing for me. Platinum is incredible, but I'm not finished. I want to keep going. I want to replace my income. I want to exceed the income that I could be making. And if you want to do that, they recommend, it's only a recommendation, but it gives you a bit of an idea, 15 to 30 hours a week to reach some of these goals, to reach a lead in a month, silver in the first 2 or 3 months, and diamond within 1 to 3 years. And so, you know, I've seen people grow to platinum in 2 months. It just depends on who you are, how you do it, and what you want to get out of it. I find now, you know, at platinum level, I'm earning a really good income. I still have 3 children. 2 of mine are not at school yet. And I'm at home with them most of the time. I still run them around to their sports. I do school pickup. And now I'm fortunate that I have a nanny 1 or 2 days a week because I want that, because I love working on my business and I want that time to spend in my business. But other than that, I'm going out, teaching people classes. I still do it really similarly to the way I did at the start, where I try and organise classes on weekends because that's generally when people want them. And also that's when my husband's at home to have my kids. So I have that balance in my lifestyle where I have time to spend in my business, but I still get to be present with my family and be at home with them. And I've been able to make a really incredible income from that. And I continue to grow my business and want to go all the way. All right, how are you all going? I'm just going to check in with you. Hopefully you're still all awake and hanging in there. I'll try not to talk too much longer. I am known for talking way too much. So I am conscious that you've been here for an hour. I won't be too much longer. So what do you need to do to grow your business? It's often what people will say. That's still here. Thanks, Jackie. Biggest thing you need to do is to share doTERRA. You know, once you fall in love with these products, it becomes really easy to share doTERRA. And there's so many different ways that you can do that. It might be as simple as, you know, your best friend comes over and she says, oh, I've got terrible period pain. And you're like, oh, I've got this oil that I've used. It's amazing. You need to try Claricum. Why don't you try that? And then when they get good results, they'll be like, oh, that really worked. What else have you got? And it might be as simple as that, just having a conversation with the people around you. Doing classes or workshops, whatever you'd like to call them, almost party plan sort of style, has been one of the best ways that I've grown my business. At the start, I was a bit reluctant to do it, but for me, I wanted to make the most out of my time. So if I'm going to sit there and talk to someone about oils, why not say it to 10 people or 15 people, rather than going and seeing those 10 or 15 people each and spending an hour or so with each of them. I'd rather get it all done at once. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to do classes and workshops. So I've done them in people's homes. I've done them in businesses. I've done public classes. So I've hired a space and just advertised it and done it that way. The other option you've got, well, there's lots of options. You can do one-on-one. So you can catch up with people one-on-one. I certainly do that as well. Some people feel more comfortable in that setting, whether they're the customer or whether it's you that's presenting. Some people don't feel comfortable doing big groups yet. So one-on-ones can certainly happen. You can do public presentations. You can do it online. One thing that I would suggest about online is I think it's really great to generate interest, and I think it's really great to be working online alongside doing it in person. Unless you are someone who has an incredible online following and you are a very influential person, I wouldn't go straight for just doing it online. I think it's a little bit of a misconception that I think when we start, we always think, oh, that'll be easy. I can do this. I'll just do it all behind my computer. But it doesn't necessarily work for most people. People want relationships. They want to know who you are. They want to see you and get to know you. So that's where building online, you need to show people who you are, but it is something that, you know, you've got to build that relationship over time. So it is better to do a combination of both. You can do markets. Market stores are amazing. They're amazing for finding new people, new contacts if you don't know a lot of people. And then your workshops, you can do so many different workshops. So I like to do mostly intro classes because I think people get a lot out of those. But you can do DIY workshops. You can do them based on cleaning or cooking, self-care, self-love, emotions, kids, pets, whatever your interests are, whatever lights you up. I'm sure that the people around you would feel the same, and they will see your passion and why you love them. So share what you love. You don't have to build a business the same way I have. We were certainly talking in our team last night about everyone has a different niche. You know, you don't have to work with mums with young kids just because that's my lifestyle and that's who I tend to attract. If you're a male, we've got a male in our team, he might be attracting 30-year-old males who love to exercise, that probably work in high-stress jobs, that need these oils for a totally different reason. So whatever your area of expertise or your area of passion, do it that way. I just wanted to touch really quickly on sharing versus building. So you might hear our language once again. We talk about sharers, we talk about builders, and the difference with them really is we get out there and we share our love and our passion for the oils and how they can help people. And I always try and do it with our customers in mind. So looking at them, looking at their lifestyle, what is going to be best for them and really help them get the most out of it. But when we look at sharers, they're generally speaking people who love the oils and start sharing because they're telling their friends, they're telling the person at school drop off, oh, you know, when they're in any conversation and someone comes up with a problem, they'll say, oh, I use these oils, you should try them. And they might enroll people, they start to almost create a business, they can earn an income, but they may not be stepping into this business to create a business. So builders are people who generally say yes to building a business with doTERRA. They are ones who probably are getting out there more. They enroll people every month. They're really committed to sharing regularly and building a business. And a lot of these people who are builders have that vision for going all the way. So it doesn't matter whether you want to be a sharer or a builder. You can do it whatever way you like. And that's the incredible thing about this business. It's completely up to you the way you do it. I've mentioned this really already. I'm not going to go into the details about how to get paid and how to structure, but I will do a follow-up call if that's something that interests any of you. So please feel free to message me, to email me if you want to be a part of that. A couple of extra things that I did get questions about, but once again, I'm not going to dive into these too deeply, but one was around tax support. One of the things that I can share is my husband is a chartered accountant, which is really handy, and he's worked with doTERRA, so he's been to the head office and spoken to their finance team, their accountants and things like that. He also is the accountant to many doTERRA wellness advocates from all different ranks, so he's there and available to you guys if you're on my team, just to help give you advice, to help guide you as to when you need to step up from it being a hobby to when you need to really set up your businesses, your company structure, all of that sort of stuff. It's not my area of expertise, so I'm not going to give any advice, but it's definitely there if you want it to, so feel free to yell out. And social media. So I'm very blessed to have a friend of mine who She's my social media manager. I bounce a lot of things off her. We work together to really come up with strategies of how to grow my business online. And she has support groups that she has offered for you guys to be involved in as well. So she's also always happy to help, and we'll jump on our team calls and things like that as well. So now what? I've tried to talk pretty quickly because I do talk so much, and I'm so passionate about this and about this business that I find it really hard to contain myself. Because I love sharing doTERRA, I love sharing the products, but what I love most is seeing people step into this business with a vision and allowing their dreams to come true. So if you've decided that you are ready to launch into this business, I want you to know that you do have the support, you've got the structure, we have the mentoring, the coaching. We will help step you through this process. There's nothing that you need to be scared of, afraid to ask, anything like that. You really just need to decide if this is the right thing for you, if it's aligned with your vision, and if you're willing to give it a go. So, sorry, I just saw that there was some chat there. So basically, if you're not already enrolled yet, let me know, or let the person who invited you onto this call know that you are interested. And your first decision really is to decide which kit you want to start with. And then whoever you sign up with, so the person who's been talking to you about the business, they're going to be your support person. So they're going to help put you into our team mentor program, into our Facebook groups, all our support networks, and help step you through what you need to be doing. If you are already enrolled and you are listening to this and you're like, yes, this is actually what I want to do, once again, the person who enrolled you is going to be your support person. So they may already be on our team, they might be on another team, and that's completely fine. But the most important thing is to speak to them about how they can support you, or contact me if you want some extra support, some extra advice. I think it's really important to blossom where you're planted, wherever you've been signed up. But if you just want to ask some questions, feel free. We can still help you with that as well. So let me stop this. Oh, good, you're all still there, even though you're black. Hopefully you're not asleep. Yeah, if anyone has any questions that you want to ask now, please feel free to type it in the chat or to unmute yourself just by pushing the little mute button down the bottom, and ask away. Otherwise, what I will do is I'll wait to hear from you guys. I would wait to hear if you have questions, if you're ready to get started. Thanks, Lisa. Where you're at. And like I said, if there is a few of you or even one of you that wants to go deeper into the compensation plan and placements and how you build a team and what exactly those ranks mean, like how do you get, to a particular rank, how do you structure that? We can definitely dive deeper into that. I just think it's better to go down that road once you've made the decision to do this, because otherwise it's information overload and you'll get lost. All right, so thank you guys. Thanks to you guys who have commented. I know some of you are just getting started and have said yes to this, and we're really excited for you. And for some of you, also, if you do catch the recording, I know that some of you are just looking to join our team, which is really exciting as well. So we look forward to welcoming you all. We look forward to watching you grow in whatever way you want to do it. Yeah, thanks, and I hope you have a good night. I hope I haven't kept you too late. But yeah, good night, and we'll hear from you soon.